It's a bit confusing. Powell already spoke. Powell spoke at 2:30. If you rewind in the stream, it's in the chapters. We listened to him talk. He didn't really say anything that unique, other than he's paying attention to the data. So, yeah, that's all we got from Powell. Circle is the biggest bubble ever in the market's history. Okay, let's do that in the chat. Let's see what you guys say. Is Circle that the question is simple? Is Circle a bubble? That's it. A bubble to me, this is my definition. You can disagree with this, but my definition has always been consistent. A bubble is a stock that will fall 50%. Is Circle a bubble? This is why when Palantir people were saying at 60 was a bubble, I was like, look, it's expensive, but a bubble means you think it's coming back to 30, because my criteria is a 50% retracement is what determines a bubble. And because a pullback is like, you could have a 20% pullback, 25% pullback. A bubble means it literally gets cut in half. That's at least how I think of it. And so I never felt Palantir was a bubble from that angle. If this gets cut in half, this is going to $100, which would still be a 3x from IPO. 86% of you say yes. My goodness. Okay. There you go. Friday, the stock market is open. By the way, Sam will be on in a couple minutes. He just texted me. He'll be on in a second. 86% of you say Circle is a buble. I wonder if its first name is Michael. Then it would definitely be a little bit more of a buble. All right, let me get to an update with Trump and Iran, and then we'll keep going from there.
The criticism from...
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me make sure it's not muted like it was last time. Hold on. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Carlson about the idea of the United States getting involved in the war against Iran. The president said that he disagrees with those conservatives who are skeptics about military conflict. Here's what he said.
And they say, well, we don't want to fight. Well, you're going to have to make a choice, because it's possible that you're going to have to fight for them not to have nuclear.
Meanwhile, a statement from the Iranian government, this is from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's a warning or threat, really, to the people of Israel. What they say is the IRGC Aerospace Division's thunderous missiles will not allow you a moment outside your underground shelters. Either choose a slow death in the hellish life of bomb shelters, or save yourselves from the 24-hour missile rain. Flee the lands your ancestors seized if you wish to survive. So the rhetoric on all sides heating up. But Morgan, you've got to say, just watching the president's photo op a short time ago, he did feel, he just gave off a very reluctant vibe. This is a president who's clearly ambivalent about this idea of the U.S. getting involved here. He said he's got a meeting in the Situation Room coming up this hour, and he said he still has not made any final decision.
Okay, Eamon Javers, thank you. Well, let's dig into all of this. Joining us now is Sasan Garamani, President and CEO of SGH Macro Advisors. Sasan, it's great to...
All right, so that was the update on Trump, Israel, and Iran. Also, yeah, we do have quad witching on Friday. So that's another thing that could be very weird in the equity markets, based on if the market makers, allow things to pump or try to hold things down. Circle right here, still going after hours at 2:04. But that is something to pay attention to. Are you going live tomorrow? I will go live for the Oscar deep dive at 9 p.m. Eastern. So no market open, no market close. But I will go live at night. I don't really know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I feel like I should, I should think more about my future or something. By the way, guys, okay, so I have a couple of updates. Sam will be on in a minute, but I have a couple of updates. So number one, the Miami meetup. So called Derek today. Unfortunately, the Miami meetup will not be able to happen at his place. And the reason is because he talked to the security yesterday. And yeah, he's too rich, guys. He's just way too rich. Like he lives where all the billionaires live. And like, the security was like, no, we are not going to let 200 random people come to the backyard so you can throw a party. So unfortunately, we're not, like, he was just so sad about it. I was like, dude, it's okay. Like, I get it. Like, I understand. So yeah, unfortunately, the security is not going to allow, because I really do think in Toronto, we had 170 people based on all the amount of you that have been messaging me. I think it might be even more than 200 at this meetup. So yeah, that's a dub at his place, but we are going to be working on a different location. And so here's my request. If you are in Miami hit me up on Twitter. A couple of you guys have already hit me up. I need a new location. And I have an idea of what I want the location to be like, but hit me up if you have any ideas. Obviously, it's not going to be like a nightclub or anything like that. Basically, the sort of vibe of it, the way we did in Toronto is it was a basement inside of an apartment building. It's a pretty big basement. And, 200 people easily were able to sit, drink, eat. There were tons of sofas, chairs, all that stuff. Now, this is Miami, so I kind of want to do it outside because it's going to be hot as hell. And it's Miami, it should be fun. So if anyone is in Miami, hit me up if you have any ideas on what you think a good venue could be like. Obviously, I'm going to be doing my own research, but let me know. And Derek's going to make the meetup. He really wants to go to the meetup. He really wanted to host it. He was apologizing a lot, but I kind of had a feeling, dude, he lives in a very expensive place, and I didn't think they were going to let that many people just show up. So yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to do there, but we're going to do it somewhere else. And we'll keep it from there. So now that that's kind of resolved in terms of the location, we don't have the location, but we do know where it's not going to be. So I can now focus on exactly where it's going to be. Most likely August 23rd, Saturday, August 23rd. Put that in your calendar. If you're flying out, you can 95% chance book August 23rd. It's happening. I'll be there probably a week early. So I'll be spending a week in Miami, but August 23rd, that's when we're going to do it. And then we'll go from there. So get on Bezos's yacht, dude. Could you imagine a meetup on the yacht? That would be ridiculous, bro. Maybe one day a yacht. But yes, most likely August 23rd. Most likely. Is Chris and Matt coming? So Chris said he was thinking about it. Matt said maybe. I think we're going to get Chris to come for sure because he lives close by in the South. I think this is going to be one of the biggest meetups we've had. Definitely going to be one of the biggest meetups we had because just based on all the messages that I've been getting, my sister wants to come to this meetup. It's Miami. It's a good time. So if you want to come and have a little bit of vacation and then, just come to the meetup, I think that'll be the case. Oh, Tanner said he's going to come down. All right. So if we get Chris to come down and Matt, we got to get Tanner to come down. So that'll be fun. All right, cool. So hopefully we can get Tanner. Matt's in Houston. Chris is in Georgia. So Chris is actually closer to Florida than Matt. So that's the update, August 23rd. Hopefully we'll get a lot of people to come through. Again, I need to figure out location and all the other details, but it's not going to be a Derek spot. Derek likely will be at the meetup because he really wants to come, but it'll be a different place. So again, August 23rd. It's a one-day thing. It's going to be probably from 5 to 10 p.m. So it's not going to be some multi-day thing. August 23rd, that's what it's going to look like. And then we'll keep going from there. Yeah, stock draft reunion in Miami. Exactly. Second thing I was going to say is I texted Derek a picture of the apartment, and I was on the phone with him, and his first reaction was, "Oh my goodness." Oh my. So I want to put that out there. I'm telling you guys, I think I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to show you guys what it looks like. I texted it to another one of my friends today, and they were like, "Holy crap, it looks good." So I think you guys will really enjoy it once we unveil it in August with the new studio, the new setup. But I'm very excited for it. And given, Derek has lived in very nice apartments in his life, I didn't expect him to react that way, but even he was like, this is a good one. This is a really good one. So I think we'll enjoy it. It should be a good one. All right, here we go. Let's get Sam onto the channel. He is one of our favorite analysts. It's been about 2 weeks. Last time he was on, we talked about Nebius. He gave that to everyone at about $30. Stock's now at 50, so it's done pretty well. Let's get his thoughts on the macro, the broader economy, Nebius, some other stocks, all that good stuff. Sam, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me again. I appreciate it.
I think we'll get started. J-Pow, any surprise on these rate cuts?
No, there was a 99.5% chance they were not going to cut. And you throw a softball at J-Pow, he's going to hit it, and he's going to take what he can get from the market. He's not going to surprise the market unless, of course, Nick Tamaros posts something on Twitter a week before. But either way, coming into this 99.5%, there was no way he was going to cut.
Were you surprised by the summary of economic projections? By the way, everyone's excited that you're here. So shout out to Sam taking some time for us.
Sam, what's going on?
Were you surprised? Were you surprised that only one cut in 26 and 27 is the projection?
No, that was the median projection was actually, it was like a little bit more than one cut. And that's actually been priced in the CME Fed Funds futures for quite some time. It was heading that direction. when the trend is pretty much heading toward less rate cuts, that's pretty much where it's going to go unless something broadly changes. But the data hasn't really taken a U-turn out of nowhere. You know, GDP is still, the economy is still resilient. Unemployment isn't ticking up crazily. Inflation is downtrending or disinflating, is what it is, man. The thing that I'm annoyed about is that I put money down that he was going to say dot plot, and he didn't say dot plot, man. How are you going to have the summary of economic projections and he doesn't say dot plot?
Okay.
I don't get it.
So you are a literal degen, because for those
I am a degen.
Those that don't know what you're talking about, someone on Polymarket bet $37,000 that Jerome Powell will say the words "good afternoon." It paid out $38,000 if he said it, and he ended up saying it, so he got it.
You know, it's pretty funny. Like, obviously, it was a flyer bet that, you know, you're playing with money you don't care about losing when it comes to that stuff. There was a little bit of I think the person who posted that probably knew that that was going to happen. Like, why would you put that much risk on the table? And the thing is that with Kalshi, because I'm assuming, oh no, that was a pawn market. Kalshi is where I put the bet in, which is a partner of Robinhood, in case people didn't know. And like, I like to spread the love, like a big Robinhood shareholder. And by the way, shout out to my Robinhood shareholders, guys. That stock is just performing tremendously. And someone, Big Billy, posted on the Discord. No, I did not win. I lost $150, unfortunately. But
the fact that we're betting on him literally saying certain words, this is the state of the market.
He usually says it. The thing is that if he says like "good afternoon" in a weird way, and the transcript doesn't release it the way that it actually is in the bet, you can lose that bet, right? He goes like, "Okay, afternoon," like. You don't win. He has to say "good afternoon," but he always says that stuff all the time. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. He always does that.
Okay, so this gets me into my larger question right here. People are betting thousands of dollars on J Powell saying words. Circle is up 630% from IPO, up 40% on the day. Are we in a bubble, Sam?
I mean, we're in a bull market. You're going to have these crazy speculative stocks running with absolutely okay fundamentals, but like obviously at this valuation, it's pretty wild. I don't know if you guys know, but Coinbase makes a good amount of money off Circle's revenue. And with that being the case, Coinbase is actually a good buy before this and a proxy play toward Circle without actually being in it. And also the news that came out today regarding the stable coins, which was from, I think that was David Sachs that basically commented about that one. That's why Hood got a big bid up in the middle of the day. And that's why Coin did as well. Coinbase is up 13%. I don't think Hood was 16. Hood wasn't up nearly as much. So hopefully my $85 covered calls aren't going to be in danger. But with that being said, no, I don't think we're in a bubble. I just think that risk is on the table and people are just playing risk the way they are, right? Like we've had this stuff. If you would have said a bubble in the beginning of in the middle of 2020, you would have gotten smoked, and then you would have had to cover your short. And then that would have been it. And then when the bubble actually burst, you wouldn't be able to short anymore because you'd be done. Right. So this is just a characteristic of a bull market.
That's a hell of a point. I mean, if you called bubble in the middle of 2020, yeah, you were right a year and a half later, but you missed out on a lot of gains.
Yeah. And you would have been celebrating during part of that. But then when would you have covered? Right. Because you could have been right on the call, but bad on the timing. And in this market, you have to be right on the timing. The timing is the important part for your call. Like, would you rather be right or would you rather make money?
Yeah.
I'd rather make money. I don't care about being right.
Okay, so let me ask you about this stock, because this stock has not made any of us money, or maybe you're up a little bit more on it because you got in a bit earlier than me. But it's kind of hard, seeing Grab stay flat while Circle's up 600%. Has your conviction grown or weakened after the convertible note offering that they did?
No, I'd say the same. This has always been a play where it's for the long term. I don't think I've never said, hey, Grab's going to double in a couple of weeks. I don't think anyone's ever said that. Yeah. But retail gets wind of certain things and they start chasing it, and then it doesn't come through. So people start taking their profits and rotating towards somewhere else. And that's probably happening here. But to be honest, if Uber is getting hit by Waymo expanding different territories, I think there might be a little bit of fear that Waymo is going to go into Southeast Asia, which I don't think they will anytime soon because we're talking about the data on the roads. So we'll see what happens with that. It hasn't changed. I think I've been pretty vocal about this. Like, I'm not like balls to the wall long in this in terms of calls. Like, I have a pretty decent sized share position. So I have time, you know, and then even my leaps there, I got a year and a half. So I'm good to go with that one. I'm not trying to look for a big win anytime soon. You can get a little strategic if you want to, but I mean, that offering, they're going to do something with that money. And if it isn't go to, then I don't know what it is. I have not dug too far into that one to figure it out. But I know there's a few people on Twitter who talk about it all the time. Gab Growth, yourself as well. You know, shout out to Gab Growth. He's been talking about this for a while. Also, Neil, Couch Investor, has been talking about this one too. So,
yeah,
you know.
Look, I agree. If anyone's in this to get an Oscar type of a day or a HIMS type of a move, it's just not going to happen. There's structural reasons why it won't. But if you think a double in a couple years is asymmetric, which is probably going to beat the market, then yeah. But it does mean there's going to be some periods of dead money, which, by the way, HIMS, Oscar, all these guys went through the dead money phase to get the moon phase eventually.
Oscar was down 90% from its all-time high. 90%. It was $2 and change at its low in 2022. And now it's up probably more than 700%. I think it's up like 800% since there. So I'm not saying that Grab will go through the same thing. Grab was actually like the low $3 at some point. And that was in like early 2023. So if you made 150% return already, well, what can you complain about? You know, it's the same thing with Oscar. It's like people are getting into Oscar right now, hoping to get a double next couple of weeks. Like, yeah, okay, momentum chasing, that could happen. But at the same time, like if it doesn't happen, people are going to vacate it. Right. That's why HIMS has kind of been sideways for a little bit because it lost its momentum. And then here we go again with HIMS. Like we'll see what happens because with the medical headlines and all that stuff and on the big, beautiful bill.
Right. Quick thoughts on Oscar. I mean, you mentioned that people are chasing it. Do you have any level of fundamental DD that you think is important about this company?
You know, I don't have a lot, but Chris and I did a stream on the Hidden Edge podcast. We do those usually on a weekly basis. So if you want to catch up to date on the DD that Chris did live yesterday, go ahead and check out Hidden Edge Pod. It's youtube.com/the @ Hidden Edge Pod. And yeah, Chris talked about that for like 40 minutes. So that'll bring you up to speed. And I think, yeah, I believe he got in that shortly after that one. So I think it was pre-market. I don't want to say how he got in, but he did get in. So he's reaping the benefits from this. And, you know, let's be mindful that when Chris gets into something, he's not looking for like a quick 50% in like a week, right? He's in it for the long term. He's done his due diligence. He's in it, right? So the same thing with a lot of things that Chris and I do. Like we're not looking for that weekly return with most stuff that we do. Let's take, for example, I'm gonna call myself out on this one, GitLab, GTLB, right? Like I've been a long-term shareholder of this one and I'm getting decimated on it and it's fine, right? Like it's fine with it because you can't be right in everything. But at the same time, I think the market will figure that out. And then there will be a day probably where it's running up again and the market's going to be chasing it.
Right. Yeah, a lot of this is about managing emotions now, because when you see some of these names that might not be fundamentally driven having these momentous runs, everyone, I mean, I don't care how sophisticated you are, everyone wants to chase it. But then it begs the question, if that's how you invest, if that's your style, like, do you even have a philosophy? And maybe your philosophy is chasing, maybe your philosophy is momentum driven, but that doesn't work for
some people.
Most
do that. Yeah. Some people do that. They know when to get out. That's the thing. Like if you're going to chase momentum, you need to know when to get out. Because if you think about George Soros, when he sees a bubble, he chases it, right? He gets in, he goes all in when he sees a bubble, but he knows when to get out. I think the problem with a lot of people nowadays, and I'm not saying anyone here, I'm just saying in general, is that when people chase momentum, they tend to stay in. And when it pulls back, they either double down or they hope it comes back. And then they're left holding the bag at that point. So you have to have an exit plan with this stuff, right? Even with long-term positions, like your exit plan is the fundamentals change, and so be it. But that is your exit plan. You have to have an exit plan with a lot of these, and you have to know when enough money is enough money.
Right. Iran, Israel, do you think the market cares at all about what's going on?
They care about the impact on energy or oil specifically. That's what the market cares about. I think the market's not concerned about a nuclear war because that's probably not going to happen. And hey, guys, if there's a nuclear winter or nuclear war, you don't need to worry about your portfolio. Okay. Like I'm going to bet that there isn't a nuclear war, because if there is a nuclear war, you're not going to have to worry about any of this stuff because your brokerage account is not going to save your life.
Okay. But
you need to save your life.
If there is, what stock is your number one buy? If there is,
it's definitely not Oklo. Let's not get confused. Okay. Like if there's a nuclear war, this will not benefit Oklo. All right. Oklo is a pre-revenue small modular reactor company that provides energy to data centers. That will not save your life. Okay. In fact, Oklo is probably going to be down 50% after that happens because it's a growth stock, right? The play that you might want to be in are defensive plays when it comes to that. But I'm not going to speculate, right? Like I can't say like, oh, Palantir is going to be up like 50% if we get into nuclear war, because chances are it's a growth stock. It's probably going to be hit. But, you know, if you're talking about defensive, I think SPY puts pays off if there's
No, what would you buy though? Give me one right answer, one wrong answer. What you would actually buy, and then what you would joke
SQQQ.
Okay, what's the wrong answer?
I know. The right answer. What I would buy would be Lockheed Martin, or buy what's that called? Buy Raytheon. You know, the legacy defensive plays, because they already have the contracts and they're already building the weaponry and everything. Growth stocks, software is going to get hit by far, because when you have war, the money printer turns on, and that's irreversible inflation if that happens. So that's part of the reason why the market's not too worried about getting into war, because it's actually good news for the stock market, right? But how much war is bad for the market? The bad thing to get into is probably anything with a beta higher than 2. Okay. Right. Like you don't want to get into crazy, like speculative stuff if there's a war, because then for me, if there's a war, I mean, it is what it is. But if there's nuclear war, like, dude, capital preservation. Like I want to worry about getting my money out of the stock market, not putting the money in, because I'm gonna need that money. I'm gonna need that money to buy weapons and all that stuff and protect my family.
It's a fair point. It's a very fair point. Waymo is coming to New York. Google still not really catching a bid. Is this one?
It barely makes money off of Waymo. It's not. You talk about maybe a couple $2 billion a year. That's not going to move the margin for their top line. And also on top of that, it's not a profitable business. I think the theme of it sounds good, but you got to remember, Google prints money from search, which includes the search revenue, ads, which includes YouTube. And then they also, I forget, GCP as well, Google Cloud Platform. That's how they make money. All right. So Waymo is like a moonshot bet. So
okay. So is Google still stuck at 175 in December, or?
Dude, if the market is like beyond all-time highs, Google's going to 200. There's no way they're not going to be at 200 if that happens. If it doesn't, it is what it is.
So you think fair value is obviously 200 on Google?
Well, fair value is a different story. I mean, I think if the market goes up more, you know, the market is past being overvalued, right? Like the market has always been notoriously expensive, no matter what. The U.S. markets have been expensive, and therefore the mega caps deserve that valuation if the market is just expensive as well. And I could see Google at 200 at some point, probably, if the market stays bullish. This is all with the stipulation that the market stays bullish.
Right.
Because if we get like some crazy outlandish 5-10% drop in the market, like Google's not going to 200.
Right. Okay. Nebius, hell of a call at 30. I think you got in before 30 and it's at 50 basically. Do you think this one is a little weak in terms of momentum, or is like 70, 80 still possible, which I hear some other people talking about later this year?
It's consolidating. So look at the weekly chart on that one. It's a bull flag right now. It's just consolidating. It's got a base for accumulation, and then it makes its move, and then consolidation makes its move, consolidation. You know, like I think that's what it is. I don't think it's going to drop like in half, you know, unless things change, of course. But they have the AI narrative with data center on here, right? So if you have NVIDIA in all-time highs, you have Broadcom at all-time highs, and all these wonderful chip stocks. Also, Astera Labs, that one I've been talking about for a while as well. That's almost back at $100, and Marvell Technologies up like 7% today after their AI Investor Day yesterday. You know, those, wow, was that 99? Holy crap.
That at Marvell also. Wait, did the Investor Day happen yesterday for Marvell or today?
Yes, it did happen yesterday, and they got a bunch of upgrades this morning from the big banks, or from the big IBs. So that one, the sell side is really trying to sell that stock. I mean, they really hike those price targets, which is really good. I mean, it's always been a favorite in Wall Street, and also the basically the hyperscalers are all of their clients. So, you know, it's going to have money coming through the door. And I think the biggest thing about the AI Investor Day was just the crazy numbers they were throwing at the TAM, total addressable market. Like those are some big figures they were throwing out there, and I don't know if that's going to, like, you know, you want to sell your product, great. But like, I don't know if I believe in 260 billion this year. Like, come on.
Do you think Sam Altman saying that Meta's poaching engineers by offering $100 million, like an MBA contract, do you think that just means you buy semiconductors because it's bullish for AI in general?
Yeah, that's bullish, dude. That's bullish. If these guys are throwing money left and right for talent, like we're not, I don't think this is the top. And I'm not trying to like pump it saying, guys, we're in the early innings of the AI race, like, which I do think we are, but that doesn't mean that the stock market is in the early innings of a massive boom. Two very different things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I think if you got a long-term time horizon, like you're going to make a lot of money in the next 5 or 10 years.
Okay, so I'm happy you bring that up because I think this transitions into another good conversation. By the way, guys, I think Sam has about like 7-10 more minutes with us. So if any questions on any specific tickers, we'll get his rapid fire thoughts on them before he has to
my
leave.
bad. I want to talk about Reddit and Lemonade.
Oh, cool. Okay, so we'll talk about those too. So I want to get your reaction to this. Code2 put out market cap projections by 2030. Do you agree or did anything stand out to you on this list in terms of where they think these stocks will be in the next 5 years?
What's Alibaba at right now?
Alibaba's at 100 billion. They think it's going to be 437.
I don't know how you can get a 4 times with Alibaba without somehow inflating the entire Chinese markets, because Alibaba is essentially the Amazon of China, right? So it probably like about 5 to 10% of that entire index for the Hang Seng or whatever these tech indices are out there. Adding an extra $300 billion is a lot of money to add over there for China. And because the US has a premium over that one, you would have to increase the market caps of these other companies on the left column. So if we're looking at this from the left side, this makes a lot of sense. I actually think Oracle is probably much higher in that list. I think
Baba's 250, by the way. Baba's 250, not 100 right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. I can see Baba getting back to $200. That makes a lot of sense. AppLovin, oh wow, 300 billion. I would love to see that. CrowdStrike 300 billion. I don't know. Maybe Mercado Libre. I think Mercado Libre is gonna be one of the first $1 trillion ex-US companies out there besides Saudi Aramco.
What do you think about Meta at 2.8 trillion? You think that's undershooting it or no?
I think that's undershooting it. You know, if we're talking about Microsoft pretty much doubling from here, I think Meta is going to easily be over. No, Meta's at like 1.8, right?
Yeah, 1.8. Yeah.
That would make it at
3.5.
No, that's undershooting it.
I agree.
These are very inflated valuations. Like we need to see some serious stuff happen in the next 4 years for these numbers to come to fruition. ServiceNow, I think, will be $1 trillion. I'm not trying to pump Palantir bags, but if the market is running that hot, I think Palantir is not going to only be 528. I think it'll be more than that. Like there's no way there's no way Microsoft is going to be double it is today, and Palantir is only like 30%, 20% higher from 30% higher from here. Like that'd be wild.
Right. Okay. Is there any stock not on this list that you think is going to be a massive company in 2030 that you don't see here?
Google will be.
Oh yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, Google's not on the
list. That's stupid that Google's not on here. I mean, they're going to figure it out. Like that's ridiculous.
Are they?
Are they? Yeah. Of course, they're going to figure it out.
Do you have any doubt in your mind they won't figure it out?
No, I have zero doubt. They're a $2 trillion company. They're not even. They're less than $488 billion. Like Google is going to take a more than 1/3 of its price today. Google, where is that cash flow going to go? Where are all those people going to spend money on their ads on? Like, are they completely going to drop YouTube? Are they completely not going to use the 3rd largest hyperscale in the entire world, going at 35% year over year? Like, come on, man, come on. Google's going to be up there. Tesla, I think that's overshooting it.
You think it's less than 2.5 trillion by 2030?
Yeah, and the reason why is because Tesla is probably not going to have all these arms under it at this point, and Tesla might not even be its own parent company anymore. It might get acquired by a different company like XAI or something.
You don't think Tesla would acquire XAI? You think it would be?
I mean, the only thing is that it's a publicly traded company, so they can't pull in capital without people investing it without diluting shareholders. XAI, on the other hand, they have like an unlimited wallet from Silicon Valley. So XAI can just get so much investment to be able to acquire a $1 trillion company. Right. So what is XAI right now? Like it's just outlandish amount of money in order to do that. I'm not saying they're going to do it. I'm just saying that that is more of a probability than Tesla being at 2.5 trillion.
Yeah, I think a lot of Tesla shareholders would be upset though if Tesla's.
No, that'll be good because XAI is going to acquire them for a lot of money. So
No, but the most they're going to acquire is 1.5. Like they're not going to have 2 trillion of
I don't know.
VC money to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Super speculation, dude. I have no idea. Like literally looking at what Tesla's going to be in like a year from now is very difficult to do, let alone 2 months from now.
Yeah,
It is an insane take, Chris Hunter, because I have no idea. I'm just guessing. I can't see Tesla at $2.5 trillion without making some sort of drastic.
I can see Tesla easily at 2. I can see them easily at 2.5.
No, I'm not saying I can't see it at 2.5 trillion. I'm saying I can't see it as just a single parent company at 2.5 trillion without making some sort of drastic move to get up there. So maybe Tesla acquires XAI. Well, then if that's the case, okay, fine, $2.5 trillion. But like, I feel like something's going to happen between XAI, which is one of the most expensive private companies in the entire world, SpaceX, and Tesla. Like, I just feel like he's going to, I don't know, maybe he might do something to consolidate all that stuff. We'll see.
Okay, Reddit, give me your thesis here.
Dude, Reddit's going to 200, man. You saw Jason yesterday, the 160, 170 base. Listen, oh, wow, battery exhausted. That thing went out. All right, I'll take care of this from here, Amit. I'll take care of this. All right, so guys, this is the market close. Anyways, Reddit, yeah, dude, Reddit's going to 200. I don't know what it is, but it's going to 200. If this market stays balls to the wall bullish, it's going to 200, dude.
Okay, but why? Why? Because the headwind is still Google search is not good for them.
But okay, so they already these people are probably working overnight trying to figure this out, and I'm sure that they will, right? This is a profitable company. This isn't a company burning cash every single day. But on top of that, they released the AI tools, AI powered advertising tools. I don't know what that means, but at the same time, this is a momentum stock, right? So very volatile. So if the market catches wind that, oh, hey guys, they're figured out, like they're not decimated by the Google search. But when you think about it this way, if those AI queries are sending results to people that are sending them to Reddit forums, which by the way, is probably one of the best sentiment indicators when you think about having that entire database in the palm of your hands, just sifting through Reddit boards and seeing what people think about a certain keyword or whatever. Reddit probably is the most accurate and up to date when it comes to that. And it's like real time, dude. These boards in Reddit, they have like, there's people who are like obsessed with stuff on there, and it's like its own community, right? Multiple communities. So if Reddit has control of all of that data, that will still make them very powerful. And data is probably the most important narrative across these other companies, right? So you think about Google, Waymo, you think about Tesla, especially Tesla with the amount of data that they have. And you saw it the other day, how much data that they have on the road versus Waymo. That's the reason why it's just so, you can't put a price tag on that. And I think Reddit, in my opinion, I think it's going to 200, not because of the fact that it's getting price target hikes, but also because it's a very strong momentum stock. We have not lost this level yet. If we go, wait, I think we might get back to 110 before it goes to 200. But if it doesn't, do this thing could just 160, 170 base, consolidate, take off again.
Do you also think that given the high beta, if Google is able to catch a bid, let's say Google gets to 200 and like the market kind of moves on from the whole search stuff, that's clear skies for Reddit.
Yeah, it's going to be clear skies for Reddit because if Google can figure it out, Reddit has a partnership with Google as well. They have a partnership with a lot of people, but if the search thing gets resolved and Google figured it out, then Reddit will definitely figure it out. Look at its growing base. Like it also has the I wouldn't just say smartphone penetration, but it also has the penetration across the entire world because they're growing as a scale globally very quickly as well.
Do you use Reddit every day or no?
I gotta be honest. Sometimes when I do searches on ChatGPT or whatever, it brings me to a Reddit forum where I find out answers for IT stuff in there, right? Like I used to use it a lot in the past. Now when it comes to certain things, like if I have like an issue with like a server or whatever, and I can't seem to figure it out, some person on Reddit has figured it out. If I want to build something at home, some person in Reddit has already done that. So,
right. Okay, Lemonade, when did you get in this one? This one's also getting some retail momentum. Do you think this is the next 5X?
I think it's I think as long as they head toward profitability, I think there's a very good probability that they will 5X from here would be very difficult. But they are a smaller cap company with just a growing user base. So if you think about insurance with a lot of legacy auto carriers, this company specifically, they don't have a bunch of agents that are trying to sell their insurance products, much like Farmers or State Farm does. They basically do it in-house through an app, right? So I think all of this tailwind when it comes to smartphone penetration, which is clean across the board with a lot of companies that I own, along with mobility as well. And I think I'm just speculating, but I think Lemonade will figure out a way to get in on the full self-driving narrative to be able to gain that market as well, because their technology is actually really good. If you ever use their app, it's better than other insurance apps, but at the same time, also the AI capability that they're releasing that will save them on costs, which has actually shown on their income statements, is the important part about this. The fact that they can scale very rapidly at about 26% while still slowing down costs. And I think that is the story when it comes to Lemonade. The scalability. It's very hard for these other companies to do that because they have insurance brokers as well as third-party insurance agents selling their product. Lemonade kind of sells itself. However, the sales and marketing, that's the part, it's kind of the same thing as Hims as well. Like Hims has no pharmacies or anything. They're mostly on an app. It's kind of the similar situation, but I think that that's going to continue being a long-term story for me. It might be peaks and valleys when it comes to Lemonade. However, I think that they will be, as long as they continue to head toward profitability, it's just a matter of scalability and reducing costs.
So when did you get into Lemonade?
My average is like 26, 28.
So you got in like over the past month, basically.
Yeah, I was accumulating a lot, a little bit as the market was going down in April, but I didn't add to it a whole lot because, again, not a profitable company, so it stays in my speculative bucket. Like I'm not like balls to the wall long with Reddit. I'm sorry, with Lemonade. Like probably I think it's like a 1.5% position, but something like Reddit is more like 4% of my portfolio because of the fact that they are profitable on a free cash flow and GAAP income basis.
Got it. Yeah, we'll do a deep dive on Lemonade as well, probably in another couple weeks. All right, Sam, some rapid fire, your thoughts on some of these tickers. GitLab, thoughts on that?
Man, I know I feel like this is like one of those things where it's like I kind of don't want to be wrong because my name's on it, but I feel like I'm going to be right with this one only because its valuation is so unjustified for what it's putting out in their earnings reports. You take a company that's growing at like 26%. Besides GitHub, they're the only publicly traded leader when it comes to DevOps and when it comes to software, source code repository management, as well as continuous deployment and continuous integration pipelines. Think about all of these engineers building AI LLMs and applications surrounding all of these products. They need to store that code somewhere, right? So you're either going to use GitHub or you're going to use GitLab or you're going to do something open source in-house, whatever it is, but you're most likely to use one of these two products. And while GitLab only makes like $200 million per quarter, GitHub, of course, is printing a lot of money when it comes to that, but you can't invest in GitHub solely. You have to buy Microsoft, which owns GitHub, right? So this is my play on that entire secular theme. But if GitHub was traded publicly, I think I would own GitHub, a large amount of GitHub, but I can't do that, right? So this is more of a secular theme trade as well as a asymmetric trade as well with Leaps.
Okay, Oracle, thoughts on those earnings?
Man, those earnings are wild. 70% for this year. Like, no wonder the thing is ran. I think it might continue running. I've traded it. I don't have it, and it's fine. But I think it's underestimated how much potential this has as a hyperscaler, the fourth largest hyperscaler in the world, one of the leaders in private data center. But I think this whole narrative is providing a tailwind for Nebius. So that's why I'm in Nebius. Much higher beta, but at the same time, much more runway.
Yeah, this one I felt like an obvious one, but like at 170, it felt a little pricey as well, right? So
the risk reward wasn't really there.
Right.
And of course, that's what everyone's thinking. And that's why it's doing what it's doing. Because you have a lot of sell side analysts trying to jump in this one. But yeah, I think this thing can run. It's like 600 billion right now. It could probably go to $1 trillion probably in the next couple of years.
SMCI. Say something nice about this one.
There's some politicians that are in that one. So I think that has definitely has a lot of potential. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, mostly because it was already tainted by its books, but also building servers is a very low margin business. You need a lot of volume. So I would say for this one, it's a very big high beta momentum stock, so it could run. But from an investment thesis, it's hard for me to get in here. Chris was in this one, but he got in this around like the 28s. And it's at 45 now. And I'm pretty sure he took most of his gains off the table. Someone wants to do AST Space Mobile. They had news today that they're partnering with Vodafone for rural India mobile users. And that's a $1.1 billion market that they can address to. Not $1.1 billion, but a 1.1 billion population of people they can address to, which obviously not going to gain all of it. But at the same time, I think this is really a growth story, even if it's pre-recurring revenue. I think what this is turning into is probably somewhat of a hyped up retail stock at this point. It essentially doubled in the last few weeks. For me, I'm still holding on to my full size position, not planning on selling out or trimming anything anytime soon.
Rivian, any thoughts on that one?
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I saw someone talk about that one over there. I don't know, man. They're not profitable. It's very difficult to be on that boat.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna take a chance on EVs, although Rivian's probably cheaper than Tesla, it's just hard to bet.
Well, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, at the end of the day, Tesla's still printing money, so it's very hard to argue against that. And plus, you have the richest man in the entire world running that one. Rivian is still, I would probably say, the secondary leader, but EVs are starting to become a commodity. EVs are already a commodity at this point. So it's going to come to a point where someone's going to be like, hey, do I want to buy an EV from GMC that's a lot cheaper than Rivian, or should I stick with the Rivian? And then that's where it becomes a problem, because now you have options. Before you didn't. So you couldn't get an SUV that was EV before. Now you can pick across like 3 or 4 manufacturers without buying a Tesla.
Yeah, and Matt makes a good point. No one's investing in Tesla because of their car sales. So if you're investing in Rivian because of their car sales, might not be the best reason. Applied Digital, any thoughts on this?
I don't know. Jason's in this stuff. I haven't even looked at this one.
Okay, the company
what do they do?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you much. I believe it's in the data center space, but the company they just signed a partnership with, CoreWeave. Is this published to you, or what are you thinking?
This is going to run with the narrative. This is just a product of a bull market. Look at TSSI.
I've heard of this one as well.
TSSI was a microcap at some point. They're one of the suppliers for Dell. So yeah, that one I kind of regret not buying in April. I was going to buy it in April.
But see, look.
I was going to buy that in April.
But the reason you didn't buy it in April is because it was worth...
There were too many things to buy.
And also it was worth $50 million. Like,
I know.
You're not the type of guy to buy a $50 million company.
I would with this one because I knew of its potential before April, but I didn't buy it because it just was not on my watch list or anything. And by the time I looked at it, it was at $13. And of course, it already ran, whatever. And it's like, missed out.
ANET, any thoughts on this one?
Oh man, super bullish this one. This is I wouldn't say they're a Broadcom play, but they are in the networking segment space. They are profitable though, so it's not like they're going to zero at all. This one has a lot of backing behind it. I think that it has a lot of potential to get back to 130, make a new all-time highs.
Okay. Bitcoin, any updated thoughts on this?
Man, this thing's going 150K. I don't care what anyone says. This is if this is the Bitcoin top, I will be surprised. We'd have to be in a bear market if this one's going to the top. But I think this is starting to become a hedge against government debt. So, and you see all of the stable coin news and everything, like it's just an inevitable run at this point.
Okay. Last one, Sam, are you long AMD?
No, I'm not.
Okay, then I'll do another one. I thought you were long AMD. I was like, I thought you have an opinion on it.
No, I'm not long. Rocket Lab, I'm long Rocket Lab.
Okay, so I mean, are you more Space Bob or are you more a Rocket Lab guy?
I'm a space. I like both. I mean, that's the reason why I invested in both, because I know like it's just so, I don't want to say obvious, but it's like, where else are you going to go when Earth runs out of space? Like, it's just, and there's so much potential in terms of building a network infrastructure, but Rocket Lab's a little bit of a different play. They're more of a launch platform, but they also have their software as well. So, I mean, it's just, the market's staying bullish. It's just so hard to not be long some of these small cap plays. But at the same time, I think when you think of the most tangible revenue today, that would be Rocket Lab for sure. Rocket Lab also has the optionality of being in multiple verticals. Obviously, ASTS, they're only in providing mobile connectivity, right? So not competitors by any means. Rocket Lab could partner with a competitor, but that would not make them a direct competitor of AST.
Right. Yeah, I really agree that the business model of ASTS is probably a bit more attractive than Rocket Lab, but that does not mean that Rocket Lab has a bad business model. It's just different. So it's a fair point. All right, I actually do have one last fun question for you, but before that, Sam's Twitter right here in the chat. Sam, Substack, you want to put that out there?
I got some news with the Substack actually, but I'll probably release that one later on.
Okay, so I'll put.
You can throw the Substack out there if you want with the other articles, but I got some news. I'm going to make some big changes in that one.
Okay, and you can access his Substack as well on his Twitter, and then Hidden Edge Pod. I'm putting that in the description as well. You guys can subscribe. Sam just crossed more than 10K, right? Yeah, 11K. You were on like 3 weeks ago. He was at 10.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was a 10K, man. I'm getting big out there. It's great. It's great. It's fun having you guys actually liking the stuff that I do, because I was at less than 1K like less than a year ago. So it's nice to be on the stream. Tanner gave a shout out yesterday. Shout out to Tanner as well. Appreciate that. Of course, Chris, early partner with a lot of stuff. Chris and I are doing the Patreon as well. So, you know, we do the Hidden Hedge podcast. We also do private calls as well with the Patreon as well. So go ahead and check that out. You know, the only thing I can say going away is like, guys, be careful with the market because things are just getting too exciting right now, which is great to see. But when there's less deals on the table to look out for, that's when it starts to become a little, I don't want to say edgy. Like I'm not short the market or anything, but like when there's not that many deals on the table, it's very difficult to say, let's go balls to the wall long.
Yeah.
Do I have an OnlyFans? No, I don't have an OnlyFans. Sorry. I don't got that.
Okay, my final question to you is going to be 5 stocks to build an ETF 1 year from now. What are you doing?
CrowdStrike, Cloudflare, Rubrik,
Heavy SaaS so far. Hoodie. All right, from this price.
Yeah,
I love it.
From this price, I'll still choose Hood. I'll still choose. Wait, from this price, like we're trying to get alpha.
1 year from now, yeah.
Oh man, that's difficult because then
you still gotta put Hoodie there, bro. You still gotta put Hoodie.
I'm still putting Hood in there. I think I'm gonna put Marvell in there, as well as Tempest AI. I'll put in there as well. I'm gonna have to put Tesla in there. I feel like Tesla is it's gonna catch up at some point. And the last one, I don't know. I can't think of anything on top of my head right now. I don't know.
Cool. There we go. Sam, thank you so much. His Twitter in the description.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you on probably in another couple weeks. We'll keep talking.
All right, man.
See ya. Thank you.
Later.
All right. We are done. It's a 3-hour stream. Doesn't feel like 3 hours, but we have been live since Mr. J. Powell started speaking. By the way, this guy was coughing a lot for the first 20 minutes of the press conference, and then by the end of it, he stopped coughing. But it was kind of weird, dude. It's like every other word, it was like a little bit of a cough. Nonetheless, we got through it. We're done for the day. Yeah, no market open tomorrow, guys. No market open tomorrow or close. We'll be live for the Oscar deep dive at 9. Steve's going to join along with someone else I found on Twitter. So I think it'll be 3 of us. Maybe I'll get one more person. And so Oscar, by the way, running right now after hours. I mean, look, sometimes this is how stocks turn out. Like for the OGs that have been in this name for a long time, this is the day where you sit back and you tap yourself on the shoulder for being patient, allocating capital, and trusting in your thesis. For those that got in this week, congrats. It was amazing timing. And for those that are getting in right now, you just have to ask yourself the question, you know, what am I getting in for? Where's my upside? Where's my downside? Am I ready to buy the dip? And then more importantly, do you still think there's alpha? Which again, less than a $5 billion company, there probably still is a ton of alpha if the thesis is as good as people are saying it is. But it all comes down to how you personally think of the risk reward before you decide to establish a position right here. 1946 after hours on Oscar right now. I'll try to see if Chris is available for the deep dive. I don't know if he will, but Chris also just did a video on the Hidden Edge pod. So if you guys want to watch him talk about it, I linked it in the chat. He literally talked about it last night. So if you do want to deep dive from him and Sam, you can look at that. Now, Chris has just recently started studying it over the past couple of days. So someone that I got has been in this for like a couple of years now. So hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit more of a long-term perspective from him. And then Steve, has done all the numbers. I was talking about it with him today. So I think Steve will be good. And if Chris is free, then we'll try to get Chris on as well. NBC News reports that the White House Situation Room meeting on the Israeli-Iran war has begun. Okay, cool. So after everything we dealt with today and after all the quotes we got from Trump, it looks like they are in the Situation Room talking. I would imagine it's 5 p.m. right now. I would imagine by like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. in the next couple hours, we should get some level of analysis on what Trump's doing. If they're going to take an offensive strike, Bitcoin right here, 104. That obviously could affect markets. Futures will open in an hour. S&P basically flat after hours. But yeah, I think by tonight we should get some details. And if we don't, then, they might hold off until tomorrow. Now, technically the market's closed, so they could say anything market moving tomorrow and the market can't react to it. So that's another thing to think about based on whatever positions you're in. I'm moving back to New York City in August. If you ever do a meetup there, count me in. Yeah, so August we will do November, December. So we will definitely have another. We already did New York City in August, or we did it in January, but there's a lot more of you there, so we will definitely do New York again. Market's closed tomorrow. Great day for regime change, dude. I wonder how serious Trump is about potentially changing this regime. He didn't really mention it today. He kind of implied it in a different way by saying they should have taken the deal, but we're going to have to see. We're going to have to see how this ends up playing out. Yeah, Miami meetup. I'm excited for it. Again, I will get details to you guys probably over the next couple weeks, but August 23rd is the one I'm thinking about. Is Oscar still moving after hours? Are we still pumping? Dude, this is pure retail, by the way. I think this was on, it's up 5%. This Oscar was number, I think, 8 on Bloomberg's social intelligence list. Bloomberg keeps track of all the names that are getting momentum on the internet just by scraping the APIs of all these websites. And Oscar was number 8. It's probably number 1 now. So even the hedge funds probably saw today that, hey, retail's buying this up heavy, which could be good in the short term, could be bad in the short term. You kind of just don't know. Hims went through this many. Hims pumped like crazy, then it dumped like crazy, then it pumped like crazy, then it dumped. And then now finally it's kind of found its base around, I would say 55 to 60 at this point. Hims right here closed above 61. You could argue same thing would happen to Oscar. You could argue same thing's already been happening to Oscar year to date, as you can see, peaks and valleys. But now it's starting to look like it's really breaking out. And that could be very bullish going into the 20s potentially on Friday if this continues as well. I mean, it could get to $20 in like 5 minutes, to be honest, 25 cents away. So it could be very bullish about it. Are you sure about August 23rd? I'm about 95% sure. Look, if it's about booking a flight, then give me a week and I will be 100% sure. But I don't want to do the last week of August and I don't want to do the first 2 weeks of August. So August 23rd to me, that weekend, 22nd to the 24th, that seems like the best weekend. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. But in a week, I will give some final confirmation. And then we'll do it. We'll do it for Miami. I booked my flight already. It'll be fun, dude. It'll be fun. These meetups are fun. They're really cool. Lot of diverse backgrounds in regards to investing, some beginners, some people that have been in it for a long time. And, it's just everyone gets to share their thoughts and ideas. And I think because it's Miami, I'll be able to find a really good venue. I just have to do a little bit of research, but I'm expecting a big turnout on this because just of what I've seen. And if we don't, that's fine. Boston, we had 50, 60 people. The intimate meetups are also really fun because then, everyone gets to talk to each other. But I need to be prepared if it's big. And based on what you guys have been saying, it feels like it'll be a bigger one as well. Don't change the dates. I've already booked my flight. Dude, whenever I book a flight, I never get insurance ever. And the last time I actually did have to change my flight, I had to pay $95 because the podcast I was doing with Brett from Figure, he ended up doing it on a certain, the only day he was free was the day that I was flying out. So I have to fly out a day early. So yeah, I'm so bad at like, hey, insure your flight for $20. I'm like, $20 for insurance. Get out of here. I'm paying $20 for that shit. And then, you end up needing to change it. But it should be fun. It should be good. And I think people will enjoy it. Shout out to Fabio. Toronto was lit. Toronto was awesome. Fabio, he was awesome seeing people there. But Miami's going to be like warm and, it's going to be a better environment. Toronto was still kind of cold. So this one I think will be a little bit different as well because we should be able to be outside. And then, yes, Vegas should be October. LA should be September. New York should be November. And then December, I don't know. We're going to have to see. I still want to do the UK at the end of the year, but we're going to have to see. Circle up another 4% after hours, dude. Goodness gracious. It is 207.8. It's kind of wild, bro. It's really kind of wild. It's the market that we're in, folks. This is the market that we're in. Dude, you know what I have to do in Miami? I have to smoke a Cuban cigar. That's what I need to do. I've smoked a cigar before, but like, I need like a Miami authentic cigar. I need one of those. Miami dates looking like, again, in a week I will confirm it, but August 23rd. The day of the meetup will be August 23rd. That's the only date you need if you want to stay for a weekend or whatever and like have a little vacation. That's fine. But August 23rd, that's Saturday, most likely will be the day for the meetup. But yeah, I need a cigar, bro. I need a Cuban cigar. I've only smoked a cigar once in my life, but I need like to actually do one for Miami. Get a Cuban chain. Dude, I've been to Miami before, but it's been a while. So it's gonna be fun to see a Q&A with Vlad and Robinhood. What do you mean Q&A with Vlad and Robinhood? Vlad's doing a Q&A? What are you talking about? Are they live doing a Q&A? They're not doing a Q&A. No, there's no Q&A with Vlad. If you're talking about the event from yesterday, then the annual meet. Oh, that's today? What? Holy crap, I forgot. I don't know if we can end the stream, guys. I don't know if we can end it. That is today. Holy crap. Hold on, let me pull that up. How did I not remember that? Events. Today's what, June 18th? No, dude, that's June 25th. What are you guys talking about, bro? What are you guys talking about? It's June 18th or June 25th. Dude, we have too much fake news in the chat right here. Look at this. It's June 25th. Today's June 18th. Unless they're doing some other type of Q&A. I was like, I would not forget that, bro. If they're having their annual meeting, I feel like I would know that. So, no, for sure. Yeah, this is June. Unless there's something else I'm not looking at. June 25th. In the app, they're doing a Q&A? Hold on. Let me pull up the app. Unless they're opening it up for questions. But that doesn't mean they're actually doing a Q&A. Oh, the Say Technologies one? Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're actually doing a Q&A right now. Okay, that's fine. So there you go. All right, cool. We'll be June 25th. We'll do that. Dude, I freaked out. I was like, I had another chance to listen to Vlad, bro. Okay, so this was the dream I had last night, okay? It was a crazy. I told you guys in the morning I had a dream of a Vlad and Carp. I kind of remember it now because it's been 8 hours. Basically, everyone was in Japan, okay? Vlad had an event for us in Japan. It was some crypto event in Japan, okay? And I don't know why we were in Japan, but we're in Japan, right? And like, I don't even know what products they were announcing, but it was just in Japan. And then freaking they bring out all this sushi for everyone to taste. They bring out all this sushi, and they're like feeding us sushi on the stage while they're announcing the products. It was the weirdest thing ever, bro. It was the weirdest thing ever. That's so like I don't remember how it started or how it ended. All I remember is that I was eating sushi. And then I'm walking down from the like the building, like one of the alleys in the building, and then Karp shows up. And he's wearing a very specific jacket, like a jacket that he wore back in December when I met him at the Grand Prix. He wasn't wearing the white shirt. He was wearing a jacket. And he was just like, "Hey, Amit." And I was like, "What are you doing here?" It was like, "Oh, I'm eating some sushi." It was the weirdest shit ever, bro. Like, I know it sounds weird, but that's what a dream is. It's weird. Dreams are weird. And so I woke up and I'm just like, what happened, bro? I'm eating sushi. I'm in Japan. Vlad, like, I kind of think he was on stage announcing stuff, but all I remember is the sushi for some reason. And then Karp walks by, and then we talk for a little bit, and then I wake up. And so it was very weird. But yeah, that was a dream last night. I think the reason I thought of both of them is because the Robinhood event was yesterday, and so we focused on that. But then B, that New York Times thing happened yesterday, and I wrote up a really long post. So I was like thinking about Karp and Palantir and stuff. And I guess those two things, I slept at like 2:30 last. I guess those two things were like the last things on my mind for whatever reason. And then they showed up in my dreams. So what type of sushi? I don't know, bro. It was sushi. Like I definitely don't remember if it was like a shrimp tempura roll or anything like that. My favorite sushi though is eel avocado. Eel avocado is my favorite sushi. I think that's so underrated. I don't know why people don't like eel avocado. Did you change your sheets? Oh my gosh, bro. It was weird though. I was just like, why is that happening? I'm not buying Enphase now. Jason said it right. Don't buy Enphase until a Democrat wins the presidency. Until then, it's a little tough to buy it. Iran would accept Trump's offer to meet soon. New York Times citing a senior Iran official. That's bullish. If Iran is ready to meet with the states or with the United States. Let me see if I can get the source for that. That would actually be, yeah, there you go. New York Times. Iran would accept Trump's offer to meet soon. Dude, if that's legit, then all that stuff the Iranian Supreme Leader was talking about today about freaking, America shouldn't get into a war. They can't end or whatever. All of that was just talking to talk. That means they're ready to take a deal. I mean, if the conclusion to everything is, hey, Iran's going to take a deal and Israel got rid of their nuclear facilities, this is a win, at least for the markets. You can have whatever political belief you want, but this is a win for the markets because it's de-escalation. It's not getting into a crazy war. It's not going to be Iraq 2.0. And if you genuinely believe Iran having a nuclear weapon or the Middle East nuclearizing is bad for the markets, bad for geopolitical instability, then if that's not a threat anymore, then boom, you're done. Now, granted, we don't know if that's the case yet, but that could be something rather bullish if that's fair. Maybe Powell will cut off that. Yes, maybe. Dude, eel avocado is lit. Eel avocado is a great one. Gene, were you betting I would end the stream by 5:15? All right, now I got to wait till 5:20 for sure. Now I got to wait till 5:20. Amit can't get a girlfriend because then he won't be able to stream all night. You know, I've been thinking about that. Like, if that does happen, there's no way in hell I'd be able to stream as much as I stream. Or I'd have to tell her that, she's number 2 on the list of priorities to the stream, which might not be the best thing to do, to be honest. Might not be. Yeah, just get a boyfriend. Oh my gosh. Yeah, technically it is my job, right? So she would have to understand that. That's fair. That is very fair. Yo, Kevin is an animal, bro. Kevin has 7 kids and he's live 8 hours a day straight. I don't think it's wrong to like stream in the morning, stream in the afternoon, and if that comes out to 8-9 hours, that's fine, right? Because that's just like people go to work from 9 to 5, right? So 8 hours, 9 hours, like that's just putting in the hours. But he does it straight, and I'm like, dude, like even I need a little bit. I need like an hour. I think today I had like 2 hours to just like chill out for a second before we went live again. So that is a pretty sophisticated level of work ethic to go straight 8 hours. Because again, at some point, you're just constantly talking, and I mean, I can yap. It's just even I need to give my voice a little bit of a break during the day. What else? Medium well eel avocado. I've never had that. That would be pretty cool. John said, just hit 1 million subs on YouTube at a beginner investor bought hood a few weeks ago. Thanks to you. Yo, that's super cool. Okay, so John, what is your channel? hit 1 million subs. What do you do? Let's see. Let's go to your channel. You do, wow, you got skateboarding videos. Oh, that's super cool. All right. If anyone wants to check out John's channel, I'm looking at it right now on my other screen. A lot of shorts and skateboarding and scooter videos. Dude, this is the beautiful thing about YouTube. Like, there is so many different niches of creativity that people can access. And I love it. That's two worlds of YouTube colliding. One is on skate park YouTube, coming into investing YouTube. I got to learn some tricks on the skateboard then. I tried to skateboard when I was younger. It didn't work out too well. But I have deeper, like, you know, the X Games and people like Tony Hawk, like that shit is crazy, bro. Like people legitimately being on a scooter or a skateboard and like going down 100 feet and then like jumping in the air and like, oh, did we ever, hold on guys, we didn't watch something, hold on. Okay. So I said we were going to watch this. Okay. So we'll end the stream after we watch this. I said we were going to watch this, but after the stock draft, and we never watched it because the stock draft went too late. But I think we should definitely watch this because this shit was crazy. And I think it would be pretty entertaining to watch for people as well. So I think we can watch this here. What's going on with the big Google drop before the close? Honestly, I think it was that Microsoft headline, but I don't know why it would be affecting Google. The Microsoft trying to leave OpenAI or whatever. But Google's up 0.3% after hours. I feel like it was just algos dumping it before the market closed. Because again, Thursday, there is no market open. Oscar 1976 after hours. HIMS up a little bit. Circle up another 4% after hours. 207. S&P basically flat right now after hours. Yeah, I should do it in Miami. That's fair. We should learn how to skateboard in Miami. Amit's girlfriend would be like, who's this ontology person you talk about all the time? You know, hopefully she knows a little bit about Palantir, because like she's gonna have to know about Palantir. Okay, cool. So this is what I want to show you. This is what I want to show you. This was, if anyone's ever seen this Oz guy who does these mental tricks, it is absolutely crazy. I've been binging his videos because I can't believe what he's doing. You guys are not going to believe this either if anyone hasn't seen this. So let's take a look at this. It's kind of wild, but we'll end out the stream with this.
Next year will be something else. What's the flavor of the week? But I'm going to tell you something that never gets old. Never.
Magic.
Nope. Better. It's not what you know. It's who you know. For example, your Rolodex right there, Andrew Sorkin's phone.
He does.
Just the people in there, the value. If you were to go through, I mean, the fact that you could right now text Elon Musk, he might not know your name, but either way, my favorite video of last year, by the way.
Oh yeah, Aaron.
Oh, that was so good.
I'm in his phone as Jonathan.
Jonathan, it should be
Jonathan. That's
I've
right.
saved
Aaron
you
was
as
some guy
Jonathan
yesterday, right?
You know what? I want them to know.
You guys probably saw him with Joe Rogan because he guessed his pin code and he went viral. But what he did on this one, I think, was even more crazy.
The viewer to know.
Yep.
I want them to know exactly. I walked in here, I don't know, 15 minutes ago, commercial break.
Yep.
I said to Andrew, I gave him some thought, okay, to preload this, to think about this. And I want to tell them exactly what I told you, which is, Andrew, to grab your phone, to look through, and to think of any business leader out of your whole phone.
Yep. That's what you told me.
And I want you, go ahead, you know what, grab your phone, hold it up to you.
I got it.
And you got 1 million people in there.
Yep.
And he could have changed his mind over and over and over. In fact, I think you did more than once.
Yeah.
And to think of one person in there.
Yep.
Have you got somebody in mind?
You told me, just so we're clear, a CEO of a major company.
A CEO of a major company.
Yeah. So I went back and forth, and then I said,
have you told anybody?
I've not told.
Have you whispered it? Have you written it down? Have you done anything? Zero. You got one person right now out of your whole phone.
Yep.
If you were to get this person on the phone, I feel like right away you need a connection, that human connection.
Yep.
Notice what I did there, Joe. Did you see it?
Not really.
I led the witness.
Yeah.
Right from the start. Right from the start.
Don't tell us how you do this.
Did you honestly, right now, think of anybody in your whole phone? When I asked you, think of anybody in your phone, any business leader, did it feel like I coaxed you into picking someone specifically?
No.
Close your eyes, please. Power of suggestion. Keep your eyes closed. It's not what you know, it's who you know. What was the first thing I said to you? I told you exactly what happens, what trends are. Open your eyes. Tell us all, who did you think of? What company does he run?
Sam Altman.
Yeah.
OpenAI.
Oh, Sam Altman, OpenAI.
Bro, how? Unless it's fake. Unless they colluded, which you know, you got to believe that Ross Sorkin when he says they're like, how do you do that?
I said every year there's a trend.
You did.
By the way, it hasn't even got as crazy as it's about to get.
No,
Chat GPT 5, it's already built in my brain. Hold on. Take it a step further. What if you were to call Sam and connect, and you want a story, you want a word, you want a phrase, you want something that connects the two of you so that you have a bond. That's what journalism is. It's creating that open atmosphere where you can ask a person a question they've never answered before. 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, watch his eyes. See, he's thinking right now. He's saying, what would I say to Sam Altman? Boom, 2 words. Is it 2 words? I saw kind of a space bar between. Were you thinking of 2 words?
That I would say to him or text him or something.
Yeah. Can't be a whole phrase.
Short, 2 words.
2 words.
2 words.
Don't lie to me if it's one. Why am I going back and forth? Are they connected? Something weird. Think of a letter.
Are they connected?
Don't say anything. You just did something with your eyes that was interesting. Think of one of the letters in these 2 words. You have 2 words, any of the letters. I want you to reach up and grab an interesting letter out of a word.
I'm going to give you, this is going to be a weird one. If you cannot get this, I don't believe that you can get this because only I would know this and only he would really know this.
Only you and him.
That's what you just asked for, something that was personal.
Personal.
That he might remember that
26 letters in the alphabet. You just thought of 1. Is that right?
1 letter.
Nobody does the vowels, Joe.
They don't.
They're too obvious. They cost money and Wheel of Fortune. They have negative connotation. You didn't do a vowel, did you?
Right.
No.
See? CNBC. Want alpha. K. Are you thinking of K?
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Look this way. Swear to them. There's nobody that would know this but you and Sam Altman.
Correct.
This isn't written anywhere. This isn't spoken. This is nothing in your head. Look this way at me. Boom, boom. Rev the engines. Go-kart. Is that it?
Did you guys see what's happening here?
We don't know what you were thinking. Is that really it?
Go-kart. That's literally
Listen to why he was thinking of go-kart.
what I was thinking.
See, I don't. This is why I don't
I'm
like
not
when he
joking
comes
here.
in because I get
So
scared.
the first time I ever met Sam Altman, guys, this is probably a dozen years ago. I was at a conference and they had go-karting. And so I thought of go-kart because I thought what would be a personal thing that.
Okay, for those that say this is staged, look this guy up. Look this guy up and go through the next freaking hour of his videos because he's been doing this for 10 years. I thought it was staged too. And then I see him doing it again and again and again and again. And I'm just like, this can't be, you can't fake it that many times. Like Joe Rogan's a no bullshit type of guy. You can't fake it with Joe Rogan. Like, I think it's real and I don't know how it's real, but it really does feel like it's real.
That he would remember that I would remember.
I mean,
Joe,
anyone
so
watching
crazy.
thinks that you're.
This is so crazy.
They think you're colluding because this couldn't happen.
I want everyone to know there's zero collusion. I can't even fathom. How did you even understand?
He's not going to tell you.
Hold on.
I don't know how to go from
Honestly,
here.
there's-
This was supposed to be the
Don't
middle,
do
not the
anything to me.
finale,
Don't-
Joe. I had
you know
Joe
what?
teed up, but now Andrew's having a breakdown on air.
Hold on. Can I say this? This one's a serious situation.
No, I know it is serious.
This is at a whole other level. How do you? Can you?
Andrew is worried what else I know right now,
Well, that's
to be
right.
honest.
That's right.
A.K. Jonathan. You know, I told you.
I thought there was no way. No way. I figured you could guess the first part. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't
said
know.
AI is everything that we're talking about.
Right.
You saw
Yeah,
that.
but still,
Don't do an AI company. Don't you dare.
I won't. No,
So
no.
what did I ask you to do during
you
commercial
made me
break?
look at-
Hold on.
You had like a bunch of
Yeah.
cards, and they all were.
100 companies. Here's the
Companies.
thing. So I tell Joe, pick a random company.
Yeah, you did.
And I feel like senior leadership is what matters at various companies because it's from the top down.
I'm sorry. I can't even get over what just happened here.
This is why I don't want him to do anything to me because I'm scared of Ouija boards and stuff like that because I don't want to be like
You picked a random
possessed.
company.
Yes, I did.
You just picked a random company.
Off the
Do you
cards.
know? Do you know?
I didn't know, but I know now.
Do you know the CEO of this company?
I do now.
Okay. Count how many letters are in this person's first name.
Yeah.
It's fast. Too fast. It's too fast. 4 letters, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. I think I got the name. He did this too obvious. We want a tight shot on Joe when I get this. Close your eyes for me, Joe.
I know you're going to get
Everyone
it.
see that?
I know you're
Everyone
going to
see
get it. So I'm not going to.
All right.
I'm not going to be surprised.
Close your eyes. First name is Mark. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And get Joe on this. Can we get Joe on this? I want to make sure we get Joe. No, close your eyes, Joe. Can we get Joe? I'm trying to see him on camera. Joe, do me a favor. Tell us all which company. Open it up. Meta, Zuckerberg. Is that right?
No,
What do you mean?
that's not the one I got.
Which company is it? Who's the person?
He's going to get it. Mark Klaus.
Mark
Cam-
Klaus.
Campbell's soup.
Campbell's soup. I'll go with Campbell's soup.
Holy! I can't even say this.
Come on, bro. Like, is that fake? Is that come on, bro? Like, is that fake, or is this just a different level of what he's doing? And what he's about to do at the end is really going to take it to the next level.
This is not fair.
We
I'm
need
sorry.
spooky music.
What if though?
It's a
What if-
naval show.
Here's the
I know
question.
there's a language
What if-
situation.
What if he had picked a different, you know what, fill in the blank on that? Because people always ask me, what if he had done something different? So tell me, what if he had picked, give us a phrase there. What if he had picked, say it.
I don't know, like CEO of like the Lego company or something. I don't know, some crazy thing.
What's that? What if he had picked what?
CEO of, I just said Lego.
Lego?
I was thinking of a company
You know
I
what?
don't know the CEO of.
If he would have picked Lego, then Joe, I think we're ready to go. I think I'm ready if he would have picked Lego.
Okay, can I just say something for a second? I just need to say something. I know we're on TV, but this is crazy.
Did you just come up with Lego for the first time ever?
God's honest. I'm telling you, this is insane what's happening here.
It
What's
happens every
happening in
time.
front of
I
us.
don't-
This is not like some kind of scam. I feel like.
No, but I think he's evil. To be able to do
Hold
these.
on.
Power's only for good, Joe.
How
Only
did
for
you do
good.
that?
I don't know. I
How
don't
did you
know.
just
I
do
don't.
that part.
It came out because I thought I ruined things when it.
Come on, bro. Am I too gullible to believe that? Am I the one who's gullible? Everyone's saying it's fake. Go through this guy's videos on YouTube and tell me that he's faked it for the past 10 years. Just tell me. Tell me he's faked it for the past 10 years. Like, come on. Like, dude, at some point, when you see it over and over, he's gone on every single television show, and you think he's colluding with. You think he got on Joe Rogan is the most no bullshit guy on the planet. You think he said, "Hey Joe, this will be really good content. Let's do this." No, Joe would tell him to F off. Like, there's no way. Watch him on Flagrant. Watch him on Andrew Schultz's podcast. That one was even crazier than this, bro. So you don't have to agree. You don't have to believe it, but it's pretty wild. I've been watching a lot of his stuff, and I'm just like, how does this happen? I don't get it. And maybe it's WWE. Maybe it's fake. Maybe all of it's staged. And I was a WWE fan for a while. It broke my heart when I realized it was fake. But, you ended up realizing it was fake. Just a question of, because if you think this one is fake. I just don't think you can collaborate with that many people on that many television networks. Like, at some point, the rumor is going to come out. People are going to tell people, oh, yeah, that was fake. Like, nothing has ever come out because it's always been, at least people have always said that it's been real. 2 updates on Israel-Iran. U.S. President Donald Trump told senior aides late Tuesday that he approved attack plans for Iran, but has withheld a final order to see if Tehran would abandon its nuclear program, said the Wall Street Journal just 9 minutes ago. And then the Trump Situation Room ended. A meeting has ended as per CBS. Okay, so Wall Street Journal saying Trump was ready to attack, but he's holding off on the final order if Tehran would finally say we are unconditionally surrendering our nuclear program. If not, then it looks like this could escalate. But yeah, I guess we will see how that plays out. Oz Perlman in his name. Just watch some of his videos, bro. Watch some of them. There's always a mole, right? Like, dude, he's been doing this for 15 years. There's someone, this is entertainment, right? Someone would have told TMZ or something like, hey, yeah, that guy's fake. Nothing. And so I'm just saying it's kind of wild, but nonetheless, that's what he said as well. We have a China update right here. Putin says we will conduct military drills with China this year. Putin calls threat from Russia's alleged threat from the East and a way to get more money from Western taxpayers. Okay, well, Russia's working with North Korea as well, so it makes sense that they're collaborating on their military efforts. But the interesting thing about Russia and China is that none of them have actually said we're going to stand up for Iran. So until they actually say we're going to back Iran, then Iran might end up deciding to de-escalate here. All right, cool. That's it. I'll be back tomorrow on the market open, and we will keep going from there. Markets basically flat after hours. Is Oscar still running? Oscar chilling out a little bit, 1960. Him 61.17. Circle still up 4.5%. Google up a little bit. S&P basically flat. Robinhood $50 or not $50, 78.50 after hours, 0.28%. Palantir, I think we closed at 139, 139.96, 139.65 after hours. And then again, the S&P right here at 597 after hours right now. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no market open tomorrow. Sorry. We're closed tomorrow. Dude, what am I going to do tomorrow? That's going to be... I've started going to the gym this week already. So I'm going to the gym for sure. I've been going to the gym this whole week. So definitely going to the gym. But that's going to be like 2 hours. Like, there's a whole day, bro. You could still... No, you can't do the show if there's no market open. There's nothing to open. There's no market. I'm going to have to actually think about my life and walk around and keep dreaming about carp. Go on a long FSD drop. Dude, I love FSD so much. I was filling my dad's Tesla with energy last night. I was like charging it up and he doesn't have FSD. And so it was so annoying to actually have to drive to the charging port. We're getting the one installed in our house. The guy came over the other day and he's just taking some time to fully install it. But yeah, I don't think I'm ever canceling FSD, bro. I don't think I'm ever canceling it. Okay, we will do an IRL stream one day. An IRL stream would be super cool. You need a little bit of technology to really make it work. You can't just do it on your phone. It's not going to work out like that. But Oscar and Circle deep dive 9 a.m. tomorrow. No, we'll do a 9 p.m. for Oscar for sure. And hopefully we'll do Circle as well. But yeah, we'll do IRL. We'll do IRL eventually. Definitely when I move out. Dude, I'm serious. I was on the phone with Derek today. I showed him the apartment and he genuinely was like, holy, that's a good looking apartment. You guys will see when you actually see it. Like I'm honestly really proud of myself on this one because I was decisive. I immediately took action. I didn't wait for anyone's permission. I just said, you know what? This is it. It's always a little bit of a risk, right? Signing a 1-year lease and getting into it. But after revisiting it on Sunday, I was like, I think this is the place. I really do. And he liked it as well. So I think you guys will enjoy it. And I think we will be able to do a lot more content in this apartment, not just market open, market close. We should be able to do a bunch of different things. Whoa, the Lakers are getting sold? Holy crap. Jeannie Buss is getting ready to sell majority ownership of the Lakers. Whoa. That's a big deal. That I mean, even if you don't care about sports too much, the Lakers have been in the Buss family for like what, 80 years, 90 years? That's been a long time. How much is the deal? How much are they valuing that stake at? I would imagine it has to be over $5 billion roundabout. Los Angeles Lakers, huh? Yeah, LeBron should definitely take a stake. LeBron should try to get a piece of the Lakers if they're selling it. Is it 10 billion? It's 10? Holy crap, dude. That's the largest ever. Even the Warriors are not worth that much. Even the Knicks are not worth that much. Wow. 10 billion for the Lakers. Wow. 10 billion. Now, I don't know if they have a team that could win a championship next year, but still. 10 billion is a lot, bro. 10 billion is not a little bit. It's the most amount a team has ever been sold for, if I'm not wrong. The Celtics just did 5 billion last year. And the Knicks, I think, are worth like 8 billion, but they haven't been sold in a while. And also remember, it's the Lakers are not worth 10 billion. Their stake is worth 10 billion. So whatever percentage of the stake is left over could be worth another couple billion. But David says, I told you he starts. It's not my fault if you put something in the comments that causes me to react. Then I keep talking here. That's wild, bro. 10 billion for LA. Huh. You know what I want to do? I want to go to a Knicks game, bro. I've never been to a basketball game, like an NBA basketball game. I want to do that in the fall. I want to go to an actual basketball game. It'll be fun to like see the Knicks versus a really good team. 10 million puts, put it in perspective. Yeah, exactly. We're already making up for no Thursday stream. Dude, watch me go live tomorrow at like 3 p.m. and stay till 9. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, TWG did do a deal with Palantir. That's true. I didn't know their founder was worth 10 or had enough money to make a $10 billion deal. That's aggressive. Ed says, dude, I'm the biggest Knicks fan here. Well, Ed, you must have been annoyed by losing to the Pacers. Also, OKC's up, right? So they got one more game. And then OKC might end up winning this championship. Yeah, dude, I definitely want to do a Knicks game next year. That'll be fun. They own the Dodgers too. Okay, so this is just a rich-ass family. Dude, that's the thing. Once you get money in life, once you really compound wealth, like buying a sports team is a luxury. No one's buying a sports team to like be like, this is how I'm going to make money. You've made money in some other way, and you have so much excess capital that you're like, all right, I'll buy a sports team. Because sports teams are not like the most attractive investment opportunities. Yeah, I mean, it's really a long-term thing you have to do. And most of the good deals in the NBA were in the 2000s. And now a lot of them have matured into these valuations, but it's incredible. Pretty incredible. All right, cool. That's it. I'm out. I'll be back tomorrow for the deep dive. Thank you all for being here every single day. As always, deeply, deeply appreciate it. Hopefully people are getting value. I know we got a lot of new subscribers on the channel. Hopefully you guys are getting value as well. And yeah, hopefully if you join into the stream and it's your first time entering, hopefully it's a lot of energy, fun community. And, the markets have been relatively strong and we will get through them if they're weak. But the goal here is to try to analyze them pretty much every day. And there is a lot to analyze given all the headlines that we have. I think in the next few hours, we will get an update from the Situation Room as well. So I'll be on Twitter. I'll post about it. So if you're not following on Twitter, you can. But Friday, we will go through all the details on what else is going on. Are we ending or is this actually a fluke? Yo, so many times I have said, all right, it's time to end. I say all the ending messages and then I get to talking about something and then people leave because they're like, all right, I'm leaving because he ended. And then they come back and they're like, bro, you said you were ending it 30 minutes ago. And I'm like, well, for some reason, someone said something. And then we stayed. So there you go. I'm looking for one comment that'll keep me going, but no, I'm done. I'm good. That's why I never shut it off until you do. Oh my gosh. All right, cool. That's it. I'm out. Thank you everybody for being here. I'll be back tomorrow on the deep dive, 9 p.m. for Oscar, and then market open on Friday. All right, everyone. Have a good. No, you can't just say Trump tweeted. See, you can't do that because now I have to look at it. Now I actually have to look. You can't freaking see. This is what you guys do. Okay, you tweeted about immigration. It's not about Iran, Israel. All right, that's it. Bye, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.